do you know what, Kieran? I'm sometimes slightly worried by how obsessed our listeners are about managers leaving clubs. And Alex O'Neill has another, and it's a very good question, but Alex O'Neill said, if a manager leaves a club by mutual consent, would they still be paid out of their contract, or would the fact that the club hasn't terminated the contract mean they don't receive a payout?
Well, I did, of course, have to go to, the secret employment lawyer for discussions in relation to this. And it will come as no great surprise that you could sense them sucking in their cheeks.
Yeah.
And the response, well, Kieran, it depends, which is the classic answer. It all comes down to terms and conditions. The manager does have an obligation to try to find alternate employment during the period of the payout, should there be one. And they would get some form of financial compensation unless there was evidence of gross misconduct. And the level of financial compensation would be ultimately determined by the manager's advisors when they initially sign their contract. They don't necessarily get as much as is quoted in the media. Some managers are so desperate, especially in the lower leagues, that they want to get a foothold in the industry. So I've heard of the salaries of some managers in lower leagues, which were quite shockingly lower than I think most people.
Yeah.
We are definitely talking 20, 30,000 and so on, which I think will take some people aback. But they wanted to have that opportunity, and they know the risks that go along with it, and therefore they deserve some form of protection. Because remember, managers it has become part of modern football cliches and psyche that change is the same as improvement, and the cheapest form of change does involve effectively sacking the manager and replacing them with somebody who may or may not be as good. And there's 1,001 reasons why clubs go on poor runs, and it's not always down to the manager.